Hello, everyone. My name is Brynn Krug, and I'm the editor-in-chief here at the Northern Star.
And I'm Sarah Rose, the managing editor, and welcome back to The Trend, a Northern Star pop culture podcast.
Each week, we talk about a couple of trending topics, and then at the end of each episode, we will rank them from worst to best and decide whether or not they are in or out.
Let's get into it.
All right, so this episode, we're kind of like focusing on one thing again, and that is the Grammys, which just happened Sunday night.
Literally last night for us. Oh my God. You know, I think I said this last episode, but beginning of the new year means award show season.
Mm-hmm.
I guiltily forgot that the Grammys were happening last night. It just spurred on me. I started seeing Instagram posts about it, and I tuned in. I think I tuned in like an hour after it started. When I turned it on, Beyonce was winning the award for Best Country Album.
Yeah.
And then I found out later on, I missed the iconic meme that came from her reaction.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
No, when she reacted to it, she was she was in shock.
I know, she was in shock. Which, I mean, and there's a lot of people out there saying, you know, she's Beyonce, you know, she should expect to win all these awards. She's huge like that. But you have to remember, this is her very first country album.
Yeah.
This is her very first time going into that genre, and the fact that she came out on top and won that is really impressive. So, yes, she was shocked, rightfully so.
Yeah, the discourse I've seen online, I've seen people like supportive of her winning it, but also saying like, oh, the people within the country music industry are probably going to be like upset about this decision, because I think some people might be like, oh, this isn't true country, like she's a pop singer, like she's just writing this, she's not a true country artist. But
yeah,
if she did the genre of country,
she
had a good album, lots of hits, people loved it, and it wasn't even like it didn't feel country. Like, it wasn't like she just added a little twang. I mean, I feel like it felt pretty country.
Yeah. No, she did a good job. And, I mean, if you've been in one genre your whole life, switching over is not hard to do.
Yeah.
And so I think she did deserve that. You know, I understand what people said. I also just don't like country, so I don't really care. So I'm just going to back Beyonce, say that she did deserve this. But that meme was so funny. Her, Blue Ivy, her daughter stood next to her. You could tell she was like, Mom, get up, stand up.
Yeah.
But, oh, it's so funny. And then I went to Twitter, and it was everywhere.
Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty satisfied with the list of winners.
Me
Like, there wasn't
too.
any that I saw where, I think we were talking about that with, like, the nominations of, like, the nominations are good, but the right people better win. But I feel like they did.
Yeah, I saw a really funny tweet that said, like, dang, this Grammys was really for the girls and Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Which is true, because, and I loved it, but it was a really, really good show. I wasn't overly upset. Because I get pretty passionate about the Grammys and the Oscars.
Yeah, and I didn't watch the full thing. Yeah, I didn't even know it was last night until, I open up TikTok and see, like, red carpet, like, pictures, and I'm like, oh. But based on, like, clips of performances and stuff I saw, too, it looked like a good show.
It was a really good show. Should we list off, like, the top 5, top 6?
Yeah, let's just talk about the big categories.
Okay.
So, for Record of the Year, which record is a single song. It's not for, like, the whole album. It's for a single song. And how it is different from Song of the Year is Record of the Year is focused on, like, the producers and, like, everyone involved in making the song, whereas the Song of the Year is more just highlighting the songwriter.
Okay, gotcha.
But
that makes sense.
Record of the Year, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar won.
Let's go. This was awesome because Record of the Year and Album of the Year are the big two. They're always awarded, like, towards the end. And I wanted Kendrick to win. For me, it was between Kendrick and Billy. But it was so funny when Kendrick was announced the winner, they started playing Not Like Us in the background, and every single person started belting that song out. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Like the part that goes A minor, you can hear everyone singing that.
Yeah, like, I think, obviously, it's a good song. It had a lot of cultural impact, and I think a lot of people enjoy it. I love the song, so I'm happy to see it win. I do think it's interesting, though, if, like, you know, the origins of the song, which we've talked about on here before, is it's a diss track on rapper Drake, who he tried to rebuttal, but none of his diss tracks were really successful, where Kendrick released, like, banger after banger, just, like, digging into him. So it's, like, the fact that a diss track of you wins record of the year, like, that's gotta be the biggest dig to Drake.
I know,
like,
I know he's mad.
I wonder how he's doing right now.
Oh my God, he's gotta be mad. He's got the whole Kendrick got the whole industry singing that song, but yeah, very well deserved. Album of the year went to Beyonce for Cowboy Carter. This one I know got a lot of discourse. I really wanted Sabrina or Billie to win, or probably even Charlie XCX, given how huge a phenomenon that was. But I will say, I also think Beyonce, like, made history with this one, because I don't think she's ever won Album of the Year before.
Oh, really?
She's won Record of the Year before. She's won Song of the Year before, but Album of the Year, I remember seeing something on Instagram and where people were like, oh, it's about time.
Yeah, it was her first win for that category.
So, good for her on that.
Yeah, like, obviously, Beyonce is a huge name in the music industry, and I feel like everyone always thinks of, like, Beyonce is, like, Beyonce. You know, like, I don't think it's a surprise that she would win this. And Brat did win for Best Electronic Dance Album. So at least it got the recognition for that. So I do think, like, even though it didn't win and it did have such a cultural impact, like, I'm very glad it won that category.
Yeah, it actually, Brat, I'm kind of jumping the gun here. It won 3 Grammys total, and I didn't know that because there's so many categories that all of them aren't presented, like, on stage during the live show. Some of them are presented before.
Yeah.
And there's a separate, like, showing for that. And so the 3 Grammys that Charli XCX won were before the actual Grammys.
Yeah, I saw an interview, like, a clip of an interview with Troye Sivan, where they're like, oh, like, do you think you're going to, like, win Best Electronic Pop Album? And he was like, actually, they already announced it. I already didn't win. And they were like, oh, and he's like, oh, it's okay, because, like, Charli won. And
they're best.
Charli XCX, and Troye Sivan, they went on the Sweat tour together.
They did.
Like, they're really close, like, they're close friends and are very collaborative. So, yeah, it was, like, obviously, I think he would know that her album, like, deserved to win that because of its impact. So, yeah, he was not upset. So that's good.
Yeah. Song of the Year went to Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. Very well deserved. For this one, I remember saying that I wanted Kendrick or Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars to win. I think I also said Billie as a third, so I'm really happy that Kendrick won.
Yeah.
He deserved it. What a banger.
Best New Artist, Chappell Roan. I think it had to be her.
Yeah.
I'm really glad it was her. Glad she got some recognition. And did you see her, like, acceptance speech?
I did. I watched it live. It was a really good speech. She called out record labels and like, encouraged them to do better when signing artists, to giving them, like, health insurance. And I think it was livable wages.
Yeah, health insurance and livable wages.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you think about the music industry, like, you think about, oh, people are having to fight to be in it and fight to make their careers, which it's like, if it's a career, so it shouldn't be a fight. Like, they should be able to express themselves creatively. Yeah, she got up there and she was like, I told myself, like, if I got the chance to be on this stage, you know, I would advocate for something important, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that was cool, and everyone in the crowd was applauding, because obviously they're musicians as well. Like,
they know it.
You know, had probably most of them have had issues with record labels in the past. So, yeah, a lot of people were giving her, like, standing ovations as well. So, yeah, I thought that was cool, like, that she was, you know, advocating for that, because she was saying that, you know, when she started her career, she struggled, like, how am I supposed to do this when I can't I don't have health insurance. Yeah, it's like health insurance is a very important thing.
Yeah. Again, I'm not fan of Chaperone, but I did think she deserved it because she blew up. And she's also from St. Louis, and I live 20 minutes from St. Louis. I was born and raised. So, shout out.
Mm-hmm. For Best Pop Solo Performance, Espresso won. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's deserved just because it was obviously such a huge song.
Yeah.
But I will say the other nominees, Bodyguard by Beyonce, I have not heard that one.
Me neither.
But Apple, Charlie XCX, Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish, Good Luck Babe, Chaperone. I do like all of those songs better than Espresso. I'm not an Espresso fan, and I'm also not really a Sabrina Carpenter fan. So my personal taste would be for one of those other songs to win, but, like, I do understand why she won.
Yeah. Also with Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter won Best Pop Vocal Album for her Short Sweet, so...
Yeah.
Very deserved.
I know we were saying, like, that Taylor Swift was nominated for a lot, and we were, like, hoping that she didn't win. So,
and guess what happened?
She didn't.
She went on Grammy list.
I have not listened to the full Tortured Poets Department album, but from what I heard, like, what I saw, it seemed... did not impress me. It didn't impress me. It wasn't exciting. It seemed like a lot of the songs were very similar, and there was, like, a lot of them. So... yeah, I'm fine that she didn't get praise, but I'm sure the Swifties are upset about it.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, any win that isn't Taylor Swift is amazing.
Yeah. Best Pop Duo / Group Performance went to Die With a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. I don't really listen to that song. Again, like, I prefer other songs on this list, but it was a huge song last year, so I was actually at Fatty's Pub and Grill here in DeKalb, and they do pop culture trivia nights on Wednesday.
Yes, they do.
And one of the questions was like, oh, what's like the number one, like, Billboard Hot 100 song right now? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I do not listen to the radio. I do not keep up. And, like, me and my whole team literally had no clue. And I think I put, like, Espresso down as I was like, that's the only thing I know is Espresso is, like, has been at the top. But it was Die With a Smile. So I guess that was, like, my awakening to, like, oh, this actually is a big song that people care about.
Their vocals together are so good.
Yeah.
They also performed together. They performed a cover song by the Mamas and the Papas, and that was really good.
Yeah, but I feel like those are, like, the biggest categories. And, I would say I'm happy with the results. Like, again, none of the categories I was mega passionate about. I know I'm kind of glad that Chaperone got Best New Artist and nothing else, because she was low-key saying, like, she didn't want to win a Grammy. And she's, like, struggled with being in the spotlight and stuff. So I feel like one Grammy's good enough for her, but she didn't need, I know, like, for herself, she didn't need to, like, sweep every category.
Yeah. I will say... a loss that I'm taking really hard. Oh, yeah, scratch that. This is a loss I'm taking really hard, and this is the only thing I was unsatisfied about. Olivia Rodrigo was nominated for 1 Grammy, and it was for her song, Can't Catch Me Now, that she wrote for Hunger Games, A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And the category was Best, like, Song Written for Visual Media, and she didn't win that. And I'm very upset. I don't even know who won that. I just know she didn't. But I'm very upset. That was the only loss that I was sad about. But Olivia was there with Louis Partridge, and every time the camera panned to her, I squealed.
Aww.
So I'm very happy she got some camera time.
But while, like, the actual categories and awards weren't that controversial, there were definitely some controversial moments.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
One was artist Babyface was being interviewed from 2 reporters from AP, like AP News.
Yes.
Which, if you know anything about the journalism world, like, AP is big, AP is reliable.
They are,
so they are someone that you expect to be professional.
Yeah.
But while they were interviewing him, Babyface was in, like, the middle of answering a question, and the reporter, her name was Krista Faria. I might be pronouncing that last name wrong. But she, like, in the middle of his response, spots Chappell Roan behind him. And she, like, looks and she's like, oh my God, like, Chappell Roan. And, like, Chappell Roan, like, kind of starts walking over. Because she doesn't know, like, this is not on Chappell Roan, by the way. Like, she did not know, like, they were in the middle of an interview. Like, she did not know that, like, this disrespect was going on. But yeah, she, like, says, oh my God, chaperone. And then Babyface is like, he said, you guys want to do that? And then he says, go do that, and like passes the microphone back to them and like walks away. And the other reporter, like, she did look embarrassed. Like, the reporter was like, oh my God, chaperone. And she was kind of like what's happening? And then said like, oh, I'm sorry, like, to Babyface. But obviously it's like, this is super
So
disrespectful. Like, like, he is an important artist, and he is in the middle of an interview, and regardless of if there's a bigger name around the corner, you should wait for that, and you should respect him and finish that interview before going on to the next person.
Exactly. I saw that. I saw it this morning because I didn't see it all last night. Oh my God, it made me so angry. I genuinely hope those reporters get fired. I'm glad that the internet is clapping back at them. Yeah. And the fact that it's from AP is just crazy. You'd think they would know better.
I would be fine if, like, the one girl didn't really face repercussions, because in that, like, she was not the one leading the charge. She was just kind of there. And I think being in that situation would be uncomfortable. She could have stepped up. She should have stepped up and been like, hey, we are going to continue this interview. But, like, I'm sure she was kind of in her mind, like, what's happening? And, like, Babyface is immediately like, fine, like, you guys go do that. I'll give you this. Yeah. So it was like, that probably just happened in a whirlwind, and she was probably just still trying to process it while it was happening. So, like, I don't entirely blame her for, like, not stopping the event, because, yeah, she was probably just as confused as the viewers in Babyface.
He deserves an apology,
though. He did actually get an apology.
He did?
So the reporter, Krista Faira, issued a personal apology to Babyface, like, before the red carpet coverage ended, because this was on, like, a YouTube broadcast from AP. So she said, I wanted to say that I'm really sorry about interrupting Babyface earlier. I'm a big Babyface fan, as we all are, and so I just wanted to say that I really apologize. And then later, this morning, actually, like Monday morning at 8:09 a.m., AP Entertainment tweeted, like, on X, and said, we are deeply sorry for cutting our interview with Babyface short on our YouTube live stream of the Grammys red carpet event. We have apologized to him through his representative and to our viewers on the live stream. But people, like, in the responses to the tweet were not happy with it and were like, this seems like a crappy apology. And I kind of agree that they say, like, we're super sorry, and then they say, like, don't worry, we apologize on our live stream, and we apologize to his representative. Like, they're saying, don't worry, guys, we apologized. And really, it's like, that doesn't feel like taking accountability to me. No. Like, they could have said, we are deeply sorry. We recognize that it was very disrespectful. This is not how we at AP Entertainment would like to conduct ourselves. Like, just issued more of a statement, like, just taking accountability for, like, the unprofessionalism versus just saying, like, oh, our bad, we apologized.
Yeah, they could have acknowledged the unprofessionalism. I mean, yeah, I agree. I would still be very upset. I hope the girl got fired, though.
But at least, like, I, of course, have heard of Babyface. Like, he is a known name in the music industry. But it's not like he's really in the limelight right now. So it's, like, at least, like, the one positive for him is this encounter does not paint him in a bad light. It's true. Actually just making everyone say Babyface is important and should be treated with respect.
You're right.
So now he's in the public light, and he's getting positive praise and having everyone say, this guy matters and he's important.
That's a really good way to think about it.
From a publicity standpoint, like, it was positive for him. But not positive for AP or that reporter. Yeah. All right. And then the last, like, big controversial thing was on the red carpet, another red carpet thing. And it was Bianca Censori, who is Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. She is his current wife. And she showed up to the red carpet in this, like, big black, like, faux fur, like, fuzzy coat. And then on the red carpet, she turns around and, like, slowly takes off the coat to reveal that underneath the dress that she was wearing was, like, this short mini dress that was, like, flesh-colored mesh.
Yeah.
So you could see her breasts, you could see, like, her genitalia, you could see, like, her butt. Like, you could see everything.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why a lot of people, I know when, like, other, like, news organizations were posting the photo, they were censoring it.
As they should.
They,
respect.
like, a lot of people are saying, like, this should be considered indecent exposure. The New York Times contacted a media relations officer from the LA Police Department who cited a California penal code that defines indecent exposure as the willful exposure of one's genitals in a public place or in the presence of another person. And according to that code, the exposure has to be done with the intent to offend or sexually arouse. So, like, it's not, they haven't, like, said, oh, it was indecent exposure. But I don't know that it was necessarily to offend, but it's Kanye West. Like, it was to make a statement and to be seen in the public eye and to have people talking about him and so that he could feel important.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, this was a publicity stunt.
It was.
And the gross thing about it, too, is, like, the dress was designed by Kanye, and he, like, posted it to his Instagram, like, oh, I designed this beautiful piece. From a design, I'm not a designer. Obviously, Kanye West is more of a designer than I am. But I personally don't think that necessarily is impressive as a design. Like, anyone could have, the thing that was, like, interesting or avant-garde about it was the fact that she was, like, fully exposed.
Yeah.
Like, and Kanye West, in comparison, was wearing, like, a black shirt, black pants. And it's like he didn't look dressed up. His outfit wasn't impressive. So it's like the fact that he has this plain, unimpressive outfit juxtaposed next to her, like, naked body is, I don't know, it's just so objectifying. It's like, if you want to put her in that position, put yourself in some kind of position too. And it's like he's putting that on her and, you know, like, objectifying her in the public eye. And it's just to, you know, get him in the public persona. And, like, he just wants people talking about him. And the other thing is they were not invited to the Grammys. They were not invited to the Grammys red carpet. They showed up, so they crashed. They did not have so it's like doing that too. It's like you weren't even invited and you wanted to crash and make the statement. So they were kicked off of the red carpet because they were crashing. So yeah, it's good that they were kicked off. And yeah, it's not painting him in a good light, but we don't need to be talking about Kanye West. We don't need to have that conversation when he just keeps doing negative, controversial things in order to get a rise out of people.
Yeah, I found it disgusting. It was horrible. And I genuinely am concerned for Bianca because for some reason, I just feel he is so, like, weirdly and horribly obsessed with, like, showing off her body and making her look like an object because his Vultures album cover was her naked, censored body. And now we have this. And also, every time I see Bianca, she always has this, like, same look on her face that looks almost sad and uncomfortable.
Yeah, she does look uncomfortable. I know it's like on the red carpet she had what people described as like a deer in headlights look.
Yeah.
And that could have been like in that situation like a face of I'm putting on this face in like an editorial way. Like I want this to look with the outfits. But yeah, in like other things when she has been spotted in these outfits, like yeah, she looks uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In 2023 actually, she was walking in Florence, Italy. She, at this time, it was a public appearance with Kanye. And she was wearing sheer tights. And then she had a purple pillow that she was holding to cover her breasts.
That's from 2023?
Yeah. But it's like, in these photos, she looks very uncomfortable and exposed. And she's like holding this pillow to cover herself. The pillow was actually from their hotel room.
Yeah.
So it was like, obviously we don't know this for sure, but it's like, it also seems to me like, what if this was she was saying, I don't feel comfortable leaving the house like this. And then they're saying, oh, well, how about you cover yourself with this pillow? And just used what they had in the hotel room. That's how it feels to me.
It is. It's so disgusting. I hate Kanye West.
And in juxtaposition with this outfit, Kanye was in like a loose black shirt, loose black pants, and like a black like head covering that was partially obscuring his face. It's like he's ultra covered and ultra protecting his identity, and then she's just like on display and exposed like that. Like, it seems very gross and objectifying. I don't like it.
I don't like it either, but I'm concerned for her too. I don't think she goes along with any of this. I think Kanye's very controlling, knowing who he is. But it was horrible. Yeah. But he did it to get a rise out of people, but you know what? Bigger things happened during the night, greater things.
Yeah.
And
it's like he wasn't even invited and he wanted a piece of the attention cake.
I hate him.
But let's get into this ranking.
Yeah.
Last, I think it's got to be the dress. Yeah, it's definitely out. It's just gross, and it's like, it just feels like a blatant attention grab.
Yes. Don't like it.
Second, Babyface interview.
Out.
Also out, but at least they issued an apology.
Could have been better.
Yeah, I hope something is done to reprimand this reporter. And, yeah, at least, like I said, it's good press for Babyface. Even though it was uncomfortable and disrespectful to him in the moment, he's being highlighted now.
Yeah.
And then for first place, and I would say is the Grammy winners.
The winners, yeah. Specifically the ones we listed off of all the big categories. I was very satisfied.
Yeah.
And it was a really, honestly, the Grammys as a whole had more good than bad moments. And it was a really, really good show. A lot of fun things happened.
Yeah, I agree.
But thank you so much for listening. We will see you next week. We'll have a new episode coming out every Tuesday. So thank you and goodbye.
Bye.